What if your biggest problem by 2100 wasn't the cost of living, but the challenge of finding purpose in a world that requires nothing from you? We're about to explore the daily reality of a post-scarcity Earth, a life where we finally stopped fighting for survival and started deciding what we actually want to be. You wake up, but not to the jarring, cortisol-spiking sound of a digital alarm. The blinds in your apartment don't just open, they sync with your circadian rhythm, slowly angling to let in the natural light of the morning. You live on the 40th floor of a residential spire in 22nd century New York. Before you even get out of bed, the room has done a diagnostic. The air sensors have adjusted the oxygen mix overnight to optimize your REM cycle. Your mirror displays a gentle, non-intrusive summary of your biometrics. Hydration levels perfect, inflammation down, cortisol negligible. In the 2020s, healthcare was reactive. You waited until you were sick, then you paid a fortune to get fixed. In your world, healthcare is ambient. It is woven into the architecture. The floor you walk on scans your gait for neurological drift. The toilet analyzes your microbiome daily. You don't go to the doctor. You live in a machine that keeps you from ever needing one. You step out onto your balcony with a cup of coffee. But coffee is real, grown in a hydroponic vertical agricultural tower 3 blocks away. But the view is what defines your era. Below you, the gray concrete grid of the 20th century is gone. The streets have been narrowed. The canyons between skyscrapers are now bridged by tiered walkways and hanging gardens, creating a multi-layered ecosystem. It is quiet. The roar of combustion engines, the siren wails, the constant jackhammering of construction, it's all a memory. The city hums, a low biological sound of wind, water, and magnetic transit. You aren't rich. You aren't an elite. You are just an average citizen in the year 2100, and this quiet luxury is your baseline. You leave your apartment and head to the transit station. As you wait for the maglev, you lean casually against the safety railing. You don't think twice about it, but under your hand, the railing feels cool, smooth, and incredibly solid. It is made of platinum titanium alloy. In the scarcity era, this railing would have been rusted steel or painted iron. It would have required constant maintenance, scraping, painting, and replacing every 30 years to fight the rot. But in your world, maintenance is considered a waste of human labor. Why build something that dies when you can build something that lives forever? Because the asteroid mines flooded the Earth with heavy metals, society stopped building things that rot. We clad our bridges in corrosion-proof platinum. We wire our cities with solid silver to lower resistance. We use gold not for vanity, but for non-reactive medical surfaces. It's not about opulence, it's about permanence. You tap the railing with your ring. You remember reading history books about the aluminum moment of the 1850s, how aluminum went from a metal reserved for kings to a metal used for cheap soda cans. The same thing happened here. To you, this railing isn't jewelry, it's just sensible municipal infrastructure that will last for 1,000 years without costing the city a dime in repairs. The concept of precious metal is dead. The concept of useful metal has taken its place. While you wait, a holographic news feed flickers on the station wall. It catches your eye. It's a report from the exclusion zones in the American Midwest. The anchor is talking about the Terra-Natives. These are the people who said no. When the post-scarcity transition happened, when the food printers and the asteroid steel arrived, about 5% of the population rejected it. They saw the abundance not as freedom, but as a trap. They believe that humans lose their souls when they stop struggling against nature. The footage shows a community of farmers plowing a field by hand. No biometrics, no orbital power. They live in wooden houses that rot. They get sick, they age faster than you do. The reporter interviews an old man with calloused hands. He says, "You people in the spires, you're pets. You're well-fed, safe, domestic pets. We are still wild." You watch the clip with a mix of pity and respect. They have the right to choose the struggle, just as you have the right to choose the peace. The global constitution guarantees their land and their isolation. They are the control group of humanity, a reminder of where we came from. The train arrives, a silent, floating pod. You step in. There are no overhead power lines scarring the sky. There is no electrified third rail sparking in the dark. As the pod glides between the towers, you look up through the skylight. Even in the bright morning, if you squint, you can see them, the constellations of the giants. These are massive orbital solar arrays, parked in geostationary orbit. Unlike the satellites of the past that zoomed by every 90 minutes, these platforms hover over the city like fixed artificial stars. They bathe in unfiltered sunlight 24 hours a day, beaming gigawatts of microwave energy down to receiver fields on the outskirts. You check your phone. It's fully charged. It's always fully charged. The concept of a battery running out is archaic to you, something your grandparents complained about. The city runs on a wireless energy mesh and hydrogen fuel cells. You don't pay a power bill. Nobody does. The energy is captured from the sun, which is free, and transmitted through infrastructure that was paid off decades ago. The energy anxiety that defined the geopolitics of the 21st century, the wars for oil, the panic over gas prices, the guilt of turning up the thermostat, is gone. To you, energy is just like the air conditioning in the train, invisible, abundant, and expected. You breathe it in, and the world around you pulses with infinite capacity. This energy abundance did more than just light your home. It dissolved borders. You look at the map on the transit screen. The train you are on connects to the global maglev network. In 2 hours, you could be in London, in 4, Shanghai. When energy became free, the cost of transport dropped to zero. Migration is no longer a crisis, it's a commute. People flow across the planet like water. Cultures mix, separate, and remix in real time. The nation-state is still there on paper, but in practice, you are a citizen of the network. The train glides out of the residential district and toward the restoration zone where you work. You look out at the horizon. The air is crystal clear. The visibility extends for miles, sharp and blue. 70 years ago, this view would have been choked by a gray haze. The horizon would have been lined with smokestacks, refineries, and chemical plants. Your ancestors accepted that poisoning their lungs was the price of having steel and glass. They treated the biosphere like a sewer because they had nowhere else to put the waste. But your city has no factories. The heavy industry has moved upstairs. You watch a re-entry glider streak silently across the upper atmosphere, leaving a faint white contrail. It is carrying finished steel beams and perfect silicone wafers from the Lagrange Point foundries. In the vacuum of space, we can do things that are impossible on Earth. We can melt metal with giant mirrors. We can mix alloys that would separate like oil and water in Earth's gravity. We can grow fiber optic cables that are perfectly clear. The dirty work, the smelting, the burning, the refining, happens 200,000 miles away. The Earth is no longer a factory floor. It is a residential zone. You import your skyscrapers from the sky, and the only thing you export is the design. The rivers that used to run orange with runoff are running clear, teeming with trout. The open pit mines are now lakes. The planet has been allowed to heal. The train stops. You arrive at your site. You are a structural historian. Your team is currently carefully dismantling a crumbling concrete overpass from the 2020s to replace it with a new park and water filtration system. You greet your team. You pick up your tools. Here is the crucial thing. You don't have to be here. Your housing is guaranteed. Your food is printed or grown locally. Your energy is free. The survival economy, the rat race where you work 40 hours just to pay rent, collapsed when the cost of living dropped to near zero. If you wanted to, you could stay home, paint, read, or travel, and you would never starve. This transition wasn't easy. You learned about it in school, the great ennui of 2060. When the need to work vanished, the first generation didn't celebrate. They panicked. Depression rates skyrocketed. Suicide rates climbed. Without the external pressure of survival, millions of people felt completely useless. They realized that for thousands of years, humanity had defined itself by its struggle. Without the struggle, who were we? It took a generation to learn how to live in freedom, It took a cultural rewiring. We had to teach our children that their value wasn't their paycheck. So why are you sweating in a hard hat on a Tuesday? Because even when your every need is taken care of, people still need purpose. When you take away the need to work for survival, humans don't become lazy, they become bored. And a bored human is desperate for meaning. You work because you want to contribute to the city. You want status among your peers. You want to look at that park and say, I helped build that.
You break for lunch, sitting on a bench made from recycled polymer and asteroid steel. You watch the city move around you. It's not a utopia. People still argue. Hearts still get broken. There is still jealousy, ambition, and sadness. We didn't cure the human condition. We just cured the resource constraints that made it so cruel. But the desperate, grinding fear, the fear that there isn't enough for everyone, is gone. You think about the Terra-Natives in their fields, rejecting this world. You understand them. Sometimes you miss the struggle too. Sometimes the ease of this life feels weightless. But then you look at your team, laughing as they restore a piece of the earth, and you realize this is a better way. You look up at the sky one more time. You don't see a void, you see the supply chain. Humanity spent 10,000 years acting like a chick inside an egg, eating the yolk, terrified of running out. We fought wars over the crumbs of the shell, but looking at the clean skyline and the quiet streets, you know the truth. We broke the shell, we spread our wings, and we are finally learning how to fly.